Hello and welcome to my video today. As you know, I've had the OS 2.5 software update in my car for the last few weeks. So today I'm going to go over what I've experienced over this time and just give you an idea of what I've seen. So let's get started. First of all, no changes to the driver screen. Everything on this update is with the ICC. And what I'm going to show you today is what I've experienced and also compare it to what I've heard other people in the community have also seen on their vehicles. So I am going to start at the settings. I'm going to go into the driving mode, and I have not had a problem with the regen braking settings of fun and hyper being reset over time. Some people have experienced that and have seen this reset to high for both fun and hyper. And some people said that it happens randomly, and other people said that when it goes into a deep sleep, and other people said that it happens on a weekly basis on a Sunday. I've not experienced that at all. I've had these settings for medium for fun, and hyper I've had low, and sometimes I mess around with them, but I always leave them off of the default high, so I know if they get changed to the default settings, it would be readily apparent on my car. Earth mode, however, is always on high. I mean, you can set low and medium while you're driving, but whenever you restart the car, it will go to high because that's an EPA default setting, and the car has to abide by that. Also, torque vectoring down here. I've had it on for the whole time and I've not turned it off, and it has stayed on. And I have enjoyed torque vectoring. I think it gives a little bit extra feel for the driving when you're going around curves. And as other people have talked about, it's the left and right sides of the vehicle that you do feel that. And yeah, so torque vectoring, pretty good. Let's go down to some other sections here. Connectivity, I haven't really messed around with the Wi-Fi. I don't have it set for my home, and I usually don't use these connections here. I do use Bluetooth, and I haven't noticed any issues with the Bluetooth settings. They've been fairly consistent for me. I a lot of times stream music from my phone to the car, for example, using Sirius XM app, and I've not really encountered any issue. I think some people have said that their Bluetooth is about as buggy as it was before the update, but I think on my car it feels improved. I haven't seen any disconnections. And yeah, another thing is the Wi-Fi is kind of funky. If you turn this off, you will lose the settings for the Wi-Fi and you will have to re-enter them. I'm not sure why they decided to go with that, and I hope they fix that so that it can keep those settings and you can add or delete other Wi-Fi SSIDs to the system. For example, I'm going to enter my home. I'm going to test it here. One thing you need to do with the Wi-Fi is have a simple name for the SSID and also a fairly simple password that doesn't have spaces or any special characters. I know that's not great for security, but it allows this to connect easily. And as you can see here, I have the network connected and it worked the first time. So for me, the Wi-Fi connection seems a bit better than before. When I previously entered my home network on there, I had to do it maybe 3 or 4 times before it connected. It usually gave me errors. Now it seems to be working fine. So it may not be everybody's results, but that's what I'm seeing in my car. Let's go down to display, lighting. Here's another thing. I haven't had any issues with the ambient lighting turning on in the vehicle randomly. That was something that happened to me a lot, where I got in the car, or when the car was parked overnight, I would see the ambient lighting lit up in the car, even though I had it turned off in the settings. I've had it on for a week, and I've also turned it off for over a week just to see if I've noticed anything, and it's not a problem for me. I've had the ambient lighting off, and I haven't seen any issues with it coming back on. So for my car, it seems the ambient lighting bugginess has been fixed. All right, so here is the biggest issue I've seen with the vehicle is the new chimes functionality for the door locks and the liftgate. I have had this set to multiple different settings here. Sometimes I have it at Noir, sometimes I have it on Bloom. And what I have noticed is when the car goes into a deep sleep, it tends to forget the settings and go to default. I've had this happen sometimes where I don't hear any sounds at all when I unlock the car. So there is definitely something up with the settings for the chimes in keeping it fixed to the setting you choose. And I have noticed that sometimes when I get in the car, these settings are grayed out until the car is fully woken up, where I press the brake and then you see the ability to change these. So there is something in there that is keeping those new chimes from working when the car wakes up. So that's something that needs to get looked at, because this is a nice feature. Granted, it's not a serious feature. It's just nice to have different sounds with the cars. So yeah, that's something that I have noticed on the vehicle. Let's go and see what else we have here. Standby time. This I enjoy a lot. I have set it for the 2-hour setting for most of the past 3 weeks. And I have done some tests for the vampire losses with these different settings. I have some videos that I've done on that. I have those linked up in the corner here that you can check those out if you wish. But I do like the 2-hour mode much better than the 10-minute mode. When I'm driving around during the day, I don't have to have the system boot up every time I get in the car. So really nice. I do like that feature. And I haven't heard of any problems of it getting reset or any other issues with other owners. So I think that seems to be pretty solid there. Estimated range, I really haven't messed with it much. I probably will look at this more when I do some long distance trips. Maybe I'll do some resets before the trip and during the trip and after the trip. See if if it makes that much of a difference. But otherwise, that is the other new feature on this screen. And on the display page, we have the auto theme now. That was one of the other new features. Personally, I don't find it that useful since I always have the car in dark mode. I like that theme better. I find that the light mode is much too bright. And yeah, it's obviously personal preference. And if you do like the change of those themes between when it's daytime and nighttime out, then auto is perfect for you. On the audio page, there's really no differences, but I have heard a difference in the sound. For some reason, it sounds louder at lower volume settings. It's hard to quantify that because I don't have any recordings of before and after the software update to compare it. But somehow it just definitely feels a bit louder and more punch to the bass. Yep, so that's about it for the settings section here. Let's go into HVAC. Now, usually I have the AC set for manual and for the summer, and when it's warm out, I have AC on just by default. Previously, in the 2.2 software, I had AC turn on and turn off randomly when I get in the car after wake up. So I have noticed that being an issue. And with this 2.5 update, I haven't had that problem. Every time I get in the car, AC is always on. All my previous settings were as they were. No issues in my case. But I have heard from other people that their AC button does turn off. So I'm not sure why it's happening for some cars and not for others. So that's something I'll continue to look at and research and see if it's maybe some setting in the car. Maybe one of the ECUs is out of date for some of the people that have this issue. It's hard to say. So that is something that I have not experienced any issues with the HVAC since I've had this update. It's been working perfectly for me. If we go into the charge screen, the 12-volt battery here, we have the state of charge of it is 83%. And of course, while the car's on, it's going to be showing 14 volts. So that is nice to have right there. Otherwise, not too many other things I've noticed on here. Pretty much my efficiency has stayed the same. Haven't really noticed any issues there. I don't load anything really from my phone onto the car. That's just how I use my phone. I usually do everything through the phone. Music, as I mentioned, Bluetooth has been working fine for me with my phone. So that hasn't been an issue. All the other apps seem to work as they've done before. And with the O-Loop subscription, I do have that 4G connectivity, so all my apps are working. Navigation seems to be working fine. No differences that I've seen. And here we have the main default screen, pretty much the same as usual. Well, that's about it. I hope this overview of my last 3 weeks of driving with the Ocean OS 2.5 has been helpful for you. If you have any issues with your car with Ocean OS 2.5, please let me know in the comments section below. And if you don't have Ocean OS 2.5 and have questions about it, leave those down in the comments section as well. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.